Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, you guys? This is Joseph Conlon coming to you with your news and rumors video. Yes, the news and rumors are back for the first time in 4 weeks right here on the Big Fight Field channel. This is Joseph Conlon. I am hoping you guys are having a wonderful Sunday afternoon, just chilling in. No wrestling this weekend. No wrestling. This weekend is basically a nice, relaxing, cool down weekend. I know some of you have been watching UFC 246 this weekend with Conor McGregor and Cowboy, in which Conor McGregor knocked him out in 40 seconds. Whoever bought that pay-per-view last night, I feel really sorry for you that you wasted $70 on a 40-second fight. That must feel absolutely horrible. But I'm not going to talk about that. We got 3 big topics to talk about today on the news and rumors video. NXT. I said back in December they were going to be a part of this year's men's and women's Royal Rumble matches. There's going to be 10 on Raw, 10 on NXT, and 10 on SmackDown. Now, it's looking like it's not going to happen. I'm going to go over that. Revival. Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson are trademarking their names for life outside of WWE. And finally, the big topic of the week. All Elite Wrestling has signed a 4-year deal through 2023 with TNT and Warner Media to have Dynamite for the next 4 years. And they will also be getting a second television show. What do I think it's going to be? We're going to go over it right here. But before I start talking about the news, make sure you guys go check out this week's AEW Dynamite vlog, Bash at the Beach, the Inner Circle, get their revenge on Jon Moxley. And then make sure you also go check out this week's NXT review. Bianca Belair wins the Women's Battle Royal and will challenge Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship at NXT TakeOver Portland. So if you haven't watched those videos yet, I would suggest that you go watch them. I would really appreciate it. But without further ado, I don't want to waste any much time. Let's get into the news, man. Let's get into the news. And I want to start off with WWE not planning. Yes, not planning to include NXT in this year's Royal Rumble event. I'm going to read the article from Ringside News, and then I'm going to give you my honest opinion on this story. So here we go. From my phone right here from Ringside News. The Royal Rumble match has included NXT superstars for the past few years. With the black and gold brand receiving more of a focus, we're assumed that they will be included this year as well. This might not be the case. It does not at the moment. And at this very moment right now, it looks like NXT is not in it. Wait, hold on. Let me say that again. It does not at this moment. At this very moment right now, it looks like NXT is not in it. That is according to Sean Ross Sapp during a Fightful Select Q&A. He was asked which superstars he would pick to win the Royal Rumble matches this year. NXT superstars could be included as surprises if WWE changes their mind. He was very specific to note that it's not WWE's current plan to include NXT superstars in the Royal Rumble matches. They also have a big Worlds Collide event on the previous day and a takeover in Portland on February 16th. We'll have to see what WWE decides to do, but at this time, it looks like NXT superstars might not be automatically included in the Royal Rumble match this year. That, ladies and gentlemen, that is a huge no. That's a huge no. I I can't support this whatsoever. You had NXT superstars the past couple years been in the Royal Rumble. In 2018, you had Andrade Cien Almas, the NXT champion, in the Royal Rumble match. He had a great Rumble. I was there in person. You had Adam Cole come out in the Royal Rumble match. You had Ember Moon come out in the Royal Rumble match. If I can name anyone else, I think Kairi Sane was in that Royal Rumble match in 2018. Last year, you had guys like Johnny Gargano, Aleister Black, Pete Dunne. For the women, you had Rhea Ripley, I believe, Bianca Belair. They need NXT stars, and don't they want to give NXT the focus? Aren't they in a war with AEW right now? So it would probably be the smarter idea to put NXT stars in the Rumble match for people who are watching the Royal Rumble and are only watching the main roster. With the NXT guys coming in, it could make them be like, I don't know who this person is. I want to get to know more of him. I want to watch NXT. I gotta watch NXT on a weekly basis now. They gotta do that, unless they should have back at Survivor Series, and plus, they're gonna look terrible if they don't do this, because why would they include NXT in Survivor Series and not in the Royal Rumble? You know? And it's clear as day that if they don't include NXT in the Royal Rumble, that back at Survivor Series, the only reason they were in it is because they were desperate. They were desperate for ratings against AEW. That would really be the only reason why. And that is so petty and so desperate, man. You give them... Yeah, we know that they're probably not going to win the match. But give them some spotlight. I want to see spotlight from Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, Finn Balor, Damian Priest even. Okay? Those guys. I would like to see shine in the Royal Rumble match. You can maybe throw in a couple NXT UK guys in there, like Walter. Although I don't want to see him in there after what happened at Survivor Series. He should never step foot on the main roster. I could see a Tyler Bate in there. I could see Ilya Dragunov in there. That would be nice. I don't want to see guys like, the Singh brothers, Jinder Mahal, No Way Jose, Drew Gulak, No Way. Did I already say No Way Jose? I don't even know. I don't want to see guys who are chasing after the 20 Mojo Rawley. I don't want to see those guys in there. Number one, they're a waste of that's a waste of spot in the Royal Rumble match. And number two, they stand no chance of winning the Royal Rumble match whatsoever. So why are they in there in the first place? I would rather see, out of the 30 man and women Rumble match, I'd rather see a Rumble match that has 28 legit superstars that can actually win the Rumble match against a Rumble match that has 2 or 3 that can only win it. Like last year, for an example, I'm going to bring up the Women's Rumble match. The only 2 legit contenders that was going to win the Women's Rumble match last year was Becky Lynch or Charlotte Flair. Nobody else in that match stood a chance at winning that match. Who was going to win? Natalya, Alexa Bliss? They didn't stand chances. The only 2 legit people that stood chances were Charlotte and Becky Lynch. And then in the men's last year, you had 30 guys. Only like 3 or 2 stood a chance of winning. We could only talk about 3 guys who could legitimately win the Rumble match this year. I think it was Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and I want to say Andrade. I think Andrade had a chance to win the Rumble last year. That's boring. That's boring as hell. I don't want to see that happen. I know the answer. I know the answer to the next question, but would you guys rather see like would you guys rather see Keith Lee or a guy like friggin' No Way Jose in the Royal Rumble? You're gonna take Keith Lee any day of the week. So that's a huge mistake. Again, we're a week away. The Royal Rumble is next Sunday. Anything could change. Anything could change. Let me pull up my next article right here. The Revival are getting ready for life outside of WWE. When their contracts are up, they're trademarking their potential names in AEW. I got an article from Wrestling Inc., which I'm about to read right now. It's interesting to note that WWE superstars Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, the Revival, have been using the same trademark lawyer that AEW stars Cody Rhodes, Jim Ross, and Arn Anderson have used for recent fillings. As noted earlier this month at this link, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder had attorney Michael Dawkins of the Shoemaker, Loop, and Kendrick law firm in Toledo, Ohio, film a trademark FTRKO on January 7th. Now, I don't know why the heck they would trademark FTRKO since the RKO is part of Randy Orton. That's just really stupid because Randy Orton just signed a 5-year deal and he's not going anytime soon. He's a WWE lifer forever, so I don't know what that move was about. But this is interesting. They also filed the trademark Shatter Machine the next day, which is the name of their finishing move. Dawkins also did Wilder's filing for the FTR name back in January 2019. So there you go. They're getting ready for life outside of World Wrestling Entertainment. Their contracts are up, I believe. I think Josh Wilder's contract's up in May, and Scott Dawson's contract's up in June. So those guys better be out the door. They better not re-sign those contracts with the WWE. They don't appreciate them. They do not appreciate tag team wrestling. They do not care about tag team wrestling. The only time the Revival were cared about in the WWE was when they were in NXT, and they put on one of the greatest tag team matches in NXT history with DIY back at NXT TakeOver Toronto in 2016. These guys need to go. They shouldn't stick around with a company that does not care about tag team wrestling. They think tag team wrestling is a joke. They don't take the Revival seriously, and they have nothing to accomplish yet. They have nothing to accomplish. They have done everything they could in the company. What are they going to do? Be tag team champions again? Over? It's rinse and repeat. They've already put on one of the greatest tag team matches that the company is ever going to see. And like I said, they have zero to accomplish. Zero. They're going to accomplish nothing. What are they going to do? Win the tag team titles again? Like, who cares? Seriously. Go to AEW. They just got a $45 million deal with TNT. Go to AEW and have dream matches with the Young Bucks, the Lucha Brothers, the Private Party, Jurassic Express, SCU, Santana and Ortiz, the Dark Order. I would love to see the Revival in AEW, and they would fit perfectly. And plus, it could possibly they're not going to be a big market draw, but I mean, they'll get their attention when they first debuted because people know who they are. People will already know who they are. So it's not going to be a situation like the Dark Order where they debuted at Double or Nothing and nobody knew who the heck they were. They're going to come out. They're going to debut. Hopefully, I'm hoping I'm right. I'm praying that I'm correct by saying this. They're going to come out. They're going to get a pop, and people will appreciate them. People will appreciate the revival in AEW. They will treat the revival with respect, and they will treat the tag team division with respect. Finally, guys, before I get out of here, we got one more rumor to read, and it's actually broke Wednesday afternoon while I was in school. I read this on the bus, and I was so happy. I was ecstatic. This is awesome. AEW Dynamite signs a 4-year deal with TNT through 2023. I have the following press release from AEW right here on my phone, which I'm about to read, and then we will go over it. Warner Media announced on January 15th an extended relationship with All Elite Wrestling, the groundbreaking new wrestling league that has already redefined wrestling with resounding success after only a few months. Warner Media has extended their deal for AEW Dynamite, a top 20 new cable unscripted series, through 2023. In addition, the parties have agreed to launch another night of AEW action, offering more fans favorite wrestlers with a second show straight to series. We'll talk about that when I'm done reading this. That'll be the first thing we talk about. When Tony Khan first shared his idea of starting a new wrestling league, I was impressed by his audacity to go up against a contender that has been the only game in town for 20 years, and ultimately believed that together we could bring his vision for a new, authentic, gritty product to bear, says Kevin Riley, Chief Content Officer, HBO Max, President of HBO, TNT, TBS, and True TV. The fans have spoken, and after only 3 months, we have seen AEW shake up the wrestling world, and this will only continue as we build up this momentum. AEW Dynamite exploded onto the wrestling scene when it premiered on TNT as the night's #1 wrestling show. It has continued to deliver high-performing episodes each week, with the series averaging 1.2 million total viewers and 654,000 for the 18 to 49 per episode in live 7+ day viewing in only 3 months. AEW Dynamite has reached nearly 32 million people across all platforms. The show has delivers the youngest wrestling audience on television. We launched AEW 1 year ago. We wanted to start a revolution, and that would disrupt the wrestling business. But everyone said that it would take a strong weekly television partner to make AEW real in the eyes of everyone. Above all, the fans, said Tony Khan, President and CEO of AEW. What virtually no one realized at the time was Kevin Riley and TNT were committed to this very same movement from day one, and their belief in us made it possible for AEW to think and act big from the start. Here we are, only 3 months into Wednesday Night Dynamite, and now we've been extended through 2023. We're now making the ultimate statement that the team of AEW and TNT is here to stay and bring the fans more of great wrestling that the fans demand and deserve. And that is AEW's press release. I can't feel any more happy for AEW. I'm so happy for them. They deserve it too. 3 months in, From October 2nd until now. Yeah, there's been a few hiccups. The Nightmare Collective, some of the ref botches, some of the botches in the match, maybe some of the storylines. The women's division, the biggest one, definitely still need work. This show has been a success. A huge success. AEW has been more positive than negative to the world of wrestling. Think about it. Wrestlers nowadays are getting higher paychecks. They need to work harder to prove that they are the best. They need to, work harder. They work harder, put on better television shows, but clearly that doesn't bother WWE because they don't thrive in weekly shows every week. They don't thrive with Raw and SmackDown. They do the rinse and repeat every single week, and that's a shame. But this deal is more positive than it is negative. It's better. It's better for the world of pro wrestling that we have AEW. Think about it. If this was an argument back when AEW when AEW was with TNT, and a few weeks later, NXT announced that they were moving to the USA Network. If AEW did not exist, they never existed, do you really think NXT would be on the USA Network right now? Absolutely not. They would still be 1 hour a week on the WWE Network, taped shows every single month, taped shows. So, and as much as the NXT elitist or NXT fanboys don't want to admit it, I mean, I'm a huge NXT fan myself. I've loved NXT for years. I still think it's one of the best wrestling products in the world. But if it wasn't for AEW, NXT would not be on the USA Network right now. I'm sorry. That's just straight up facts. And, they came into this wanting to give us a true alternative. Tony Khan wanted AEW to be a true alternative in pro wrestling. And more than likely it is. It is right now. It's an alternative because you have options on Wednesday night. You could pick NXT or you could pick AEW. That means that AEW is a true alternative. And I know all the AEW, all the losers in the wrestling community who want AEW to fail for no reason. I don't know why, but people who want AEW to fail for no reason are probably crying themselves a river, and they should be happy, but they never will. They watch these AEW shows every single week. They don't watch it for the fun. They watch to criticize. They critique every little thing that AEW does. And if they do something wrong, they got to call them out. They got to post it on social media. They got to make it a big deal. We don't do that. I don't watch Raw and SmackDown. I don't want to bring up Raw and SmackDown, but I have to in this case. I don't watch Raw and SmackDown to critique every little thing that happens. I wouldn't be enjoying a wrestling show. I watch Raw and SmackDown. I try to have fun watching Raw and SmackDown. But there's just so much more. There's so much negative things that happen every single week on the shows that we have no choice but to complain. Do I want to complain? No, I do not. Do I have to? Yes. Because the more our voices are heard, hopefully there will be change. Hopefully there will be change. And they got $45 million in this deal, did AEW. So that gives them more cash to go out and get free agents in the free agent market. You got Brian Cage, who I thought recently signed with AEW, but his wife shut that down. You got Matt Hardy, whose contract's up in March. He's most likely not resigning with the company. You gotta get him. Rey Mysterio, whose contract's up in April, he's probably not going to resign with the company. AEW, that would be a great get for AEW if they get Rey Mysterio. Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson, the Revival. Those guys aren't staying in the WWE. They know better. They're smart enough. AEW, gotta get them. Gotta get them. Killer Cross is a free agent, but after recent reports that he's met with Triple H, you might as well just cross him off the free agent list. And then the big one, not the big one, but Tessa Blanchard. I know there's a lot of controversy on her with the whole racism from last week. It's gonna live with her for the rest of her life, but she's got to move on from it. She's gonna eventually have to move on from it. She's the Impact World Champion. I see her dropping that title in a few months. Her contract's up in July, I believe. I don't think she's gonna resign with Impact. AEW desperately needs Tessa Blanchard. They need help big time in that women's division. They need Tessa Blanchard. There's a lot. AEW could do a lot with $45 million. I couldn't be any more happier for them than I am right now. And this is only better. This is more positive than negative for pro wrestling. And that's going to do it for my news and rumors video this week. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. Next week is going to be a crazy week. AEW Dynamite Wednesday night. Chris Jericho and Cruz. We got Pac versus Jon Moxley. We're going to review that show Wednesday night. Thursday, we're going to review NXT. We got Keith Lee versus Roderick Strong for the NXT North American Championship. Then, we hit the big weekend. Friday will be Worlds Collide predictions. I don't know when I'm going to upload my Royal Rumble predictions. It could be either Friday night or Saturday morning. Saturday, Worlds Collide review. Sunday night, Royal Rumble review. You guys got 6 videos coming for you next week right here on the Big Fight Field channel. So you got it. You should subscribe. We're gonna try to get Eddie on the channel next week. I know he's been. I say this every week that he's really busy, and I'm being truthful with you guys. I would never lie. He's trying to be a pro wrestler. He's started training this week at Monster Factory Pro Wrestling, and he's got training every week. So. Hopefully we will get him on the Big Fight Field channel next week for Worlds Collide and Royal Rumble. Make sure you guys comment down below what you think of these news that I just talked about today. NXT not in the Royal Rumble. The Revival trademark and AEW signing extension through 2023. Follow me on Twitter at Joseph Collin. Once again, I want to thank you guys for reaching me to 1,000 followers. Truly a huge accomplishment for me, and I cannot wait to get to 5,000 followers eventually on Twitter. And follow Eddie on Twitter as well, at Eddie Mullins. And I'm going to do it, guys. Have a good Sunday, and I will see you Wednesday night right here on the Big Fight Field channel for your AEW Dynamite review. Have a good day, guys.